You shall take the fat of the ram, the fat tail, the fat that covers the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, the 2 kidneys and the fat on them, the right thigh. The fat that was already mentioned in connection with the bull's sacrifice is repeated here. These signify the health of life, the seat of emotions, and the seat of reasoning. We saw that last week. These, along with the other fat of the ram and the right thigh, were to be separated from the animal. Fat in the Bible signifies abundance. The shoke, or thigh, actually can mean thigh, shoulder, hip, or leg. It comes from a word meaning abundant. Thus, it is the abundant area of meat on an appendage. As it is the right thigh, it signifies the honorable side. In all, that which is abundant and most honorable is what is being seen here. Verse 22 continues, for it is a ram of consecration. The term here is el milium, the ram of filling up. Thus, it is termed because, as Charles Ellicott notes, when a person was dedicated or consecrated to God, his hands were filled with some particular offering proper for the occasion, which he presented to God. Hence, the word consecration signifies the filling up or filling the hands, some part of the sacrifice being put into the hands of such persons, denoting thereby that they now had a right to offer sacrifices and oblations to God. As Aaron and his sons are to be filled with this offering, and as this offering is one which signifies receiving authority to serve, we have a New Testament parallel right from the hand of Paul. He says in 2 Timothy, but in a great house there are not only vessels of gold and silver, but also of wood and clay, some for honor and some for dishonor. Therefore, if anyone cleanses himself from the latter, he will be a vessel for honor, sanctified and useful for the master, prepared for every good work. Paul is thinking like a Jew that understood these precepts from the law when he writes the New Testament. That's why we can't really understand the New unless we go back and we see what he is talking about. The same idea of filling the hand, which is seen in this passage, was for many years a part of the rites of the ordination of, believe it or not, the Church of England. Charles Ellicott shares it with us. He says it seems in reference to this ancient mode of consecration, which we're talking about here, that in the Church of England, when a person is ordained priest, a Bible is placed into his hands with these words, take thou authority to preach the word of God. How unfortunate it is that most of that once great heritage has now devolved into anything but preaching the word of God. Prophecy update after prophecy update. We see the perversion going on in the Church of England. We've got Buddhist meditation going on there. They're ordaining homosexuals there. And yet this is what it once was held in such high esteem, that they took this word of God, they placed it in that man's hands, and they said, go forth, preach this word. Verse 23.